Hello everybody, this is the Ed Talks About Podcast, a weekly podcast about cosplay, Comic-Con, and everything else. I'm your host Eddie, and this week we are talking about my favourite cosplay photos. That's right, I'm bringing this back because I loved it last time. I enjoy just promoting and talking about photos. Just can't wait for it. So joining us on the podcast is Amy of Acoustica Photography and Siobhan or Shill from Shill Photography. Welcome to you both.
Hello.
Oh.
Everyone calls me Shill, so they always say like Shill of Shill Photography. I'm like, well, yeah, technically.
It's all this.
Not far.
Not far. Oh my god! Right. So, Amy, how are you? How have you been for the last 7 days?
For the last 7 days, oh gosh, really busy. I don't know about you guys, but I have the backlog of God knows what.
Don't talk to me about backlog. Jesus, don't.
So it's just been hard grafting.
Don't trigger Siobhan. Don't trigger her.
I think I trigger everyone.
I think that word in general.
Backlog. I need like a business card or something that says like, "Don't talk to me about backlog," and just like hand it to people.
That's a T-shirt right there.
But otherwise, fantastic. Thank you, Eddie.
That's good to hear. Siobhan, how about you? How have you been for the last 7 days?
Yeah, good. I watched a really suspicious VHS 6 days ago, so hopefully that'll be okay. But you know, no, I'm kidding. The reference. Hopefully, people will get.
That's showing age.
Oh no! It is. It's showing age. It's fine. I love that film.
It's a good film.
I think I used to
What?
have that.
What? What's going on?
You don't know?
No, I do know.
Okay.
I do know.
Oh my god!
I was like, wait a minute. How old are you?
Fuck you! I knew what you were about to say.
Oh, dear.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, last week was good.
Oh, that's good. Hang on, can I just double check with you, Siobhan? Because it's more likely you would be involved in this rather than Amy.
Mm-hmm.
Were you by any chance at a tank shoot with someone just before they went to Japan?
No.
Oh!
No. Organised by different people, and she was invited.
Ah, fair enough then. Oh, okay, then. Okay.
And
Lydia, we love you.
Chaos.
I was going to say, Lydia, we love you, ish.
Bring me snacks from Japan, thanks.
I know. I've already given her my shopping list. I was like, bish.
Slides it across the table.
Yeah. I was like, I'll throw money at you.
Jesus Christ. Anyway, what we get. So let me explain the format. So, for those who are following this podcast, you may be going, well, they're going to be talking about photos. How the fuck am I going to see these photos? Do not panic. Once we finish this podcast, they will send me the photos and I'll put this on our website. So if you go to YouTube and I'll put these photos up on the YouTube with the audio and I'll do some really bad editing and like zooming into the photo when we discuss photos or doing this. And so if you want to do it that way, you can do it that way. The premise is that I said to these guests, I said to my photographer friends, I said, look, I love talking about photos. I want to be, seeing other people's work. I want to see how either I can improve myself and just be in awe of other people's photos. So we're just going to be talking about photos. We're going to talk about why we like this photo. Was it something about, the day that you took the photos, behind the scenes, or the way you edited that photos, or just something about the photo that went, oh my God, everything fell into place. Everything, and it's just like once in a lifetime type of moment, type of photo for us. So I will do this alphabetically for the first round, and no, Amy, you cannot mute yourself. I saw you mute yourself. Right, so we are. We'll go in this round. We'll go alphabetically. So, Amy, if you use the chat we're using and send in that photo, we don't know what photos we're about to send each other.
Yeah.
So this is a huge surprise. So, Amy, you send the photo into it and then explain kind of a brief description of the photo and then some reason behind it, and then we'll like. Hopefully, me and Siobhan will go, oh my God, it's so cool.
I think you say, and then we're going to tear it to shreds.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm fine with that. Okay, this is one that Shill was actually there with me, so you'll recognize this photo. But I love it.
I was like, where have we been? I was like, I haven't been to Scotland.
I recommend coming up at some point.
Oh my God, yes.
So,
oh wow.
Do you want me to describe it or?
Well, I mean, if you want to describe the toilet bin, yeah, sure, go for it.
Since we're talking about the traitor.
I'm joking. It's not a toilet bin. Carry on.
Okay, so the picture that we have in front of us is Belle from it's Beauty and the Beast, the Japanese version, Belle. And basically we did this was my first tank shoot ever. And I got invited along, and this photo was so much work.
Bubble hell.
There's so much bubbles and stuff like that. So basically just remove the background completely so you can't see that she's in a tank, hopefully. And when you do a lot of tank shoot stuff, from what I know, because I've only done it once, is that you can't really wear too much makeup. So I've done a wee bit of editing where she's got a little bit more makeup so that you can tell more what the character is. And I've tweaked a few bits of the like dress just to make it make more sense when it's like underwater. And then she's kind of like suspended in like blue glitteriness, because when you watch the film, you know, they're like avatars that fly around. So I was like, right, this is what I'll do. So that's the picture we're all looking at right now.
I mean, it is utter trash. I would just bin it. No,
Jesus.
first thing I know. No, serious. No, being serious. So I've been to one of these tank shoots. I've only been once, and I know that your photo is 4:3 or whatever the ratio is.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
I know, and so does Shill, that the
Mhm.
top of the tank is actually literally centimeters from the top of the head,
Yes.
and the bottom of the tank is literally centimeters from the bottom part of that dress.
Yes.
The amount of
You
times
to
I've
make it,
taken the floor out.
Yeah.
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 So for you to like make that picture extended and all that
Yeah.
looks very infinite for me. I love a chef kiss.
I can't remember. Did Lydia have the white stripes and the dots on her face? She didn't, did she?
She had the white stripes and the dots, but no like blush or eyeliner or anything like that.
That's how I can't
But
remember.
I've kind of like gone over the makeup and made it brighter, so you can actually like see.
Yeah,
she's
you
got
really
makeup
can.
on. And removed a lot of hair out of face.
Yeah.
Oh wow, did
It
you?
do be like that.
There's a lot of hair in front of her face.
You
So.
should see the outtakes of Miku do this.
That better be in here.
Like,
Oh, you
It
said
can
Lid's
be.
not in there, so.
I was gonna say I actually don't mind the bubbles because I want them to know that it was in water and type of things like. Obviously, you don't want like the whole tank to be covered in bubbles, but
Yeah.
a few bubbles here for me, it's
Oh
fine.
yeah.
But
Oh yeah.
I love how bright it looks.
It's
All
so
my
bright.
photos look. My photos when from the tank shoot just look dark.
Mm.
So how did you make it so lit? Was it that lit, or did you make it that
No.
lit?
It's kind of 50-50. So it was really lit top down, but I had to like bring up all the shadows from the bottom up. And she was practically like sitting on the bottom of the tank in this picture, so none of the bottom of the dress that's below her was actually there.
Oh damn.
Yeah.
So I had to
You would
like
not know.
I had to like take it and add it on.
Oh, see, now you've said that, I could, yeah.
You can sort of imagine it because
yeah,
of the
I
way her
can.
legs are. Yeah. So, but yeah, no, basically Photoshop's really great right now. It can like separate the person from the background. You can like select person, and you can do a lot of like brightening of dark colors that way and not lose much. So it's kind of that crossed with like dodging and burning to try and just lift the whole picture up. And then I think on top of that, I then put some sort of like a blue sort of screened blue into it. So anything that was dark had a blue hint. So again, to try and make it as bright as possible. Not all the tank photos are nice and bright. I think it also depends on the quality of the water as well, right? So she was like this first person in as this character. So the water was like clear and it was perfect. You didn't have to like do too much for it to be brightened. But yeah, I spent a lot of time. I have this like trick to smooth wig hair, and that was like the first thing I did. I was like, "There's so much hair everywhere. This goddamn wig." Like, I really like long wig hair. Wig hair in tank over short wig hair. But I can imagine it being such a pain to have such long hair in a tank. But yeah, I don't know what it is. I just really like the flow of this picture, and I was just.
I do. I love the fact you get the sort of leading light from the top right straight into her hand, into her face, and then down her body into her feet. So it kind of creates this lovely kind of swish with the skirt. So you kind of read it the other way. Instead of reading left to right, you read sort of right to left, but it still has the motion of moving left to right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just in awe of it. I just love it. I do love that you got like I hope you don't mind me saying a fake sun ray coming from the top right corner of the photo.
Yeah.
So,
It's sort of 50-50 because it's like you have that top light and you have I don't know about you guys, but you have to fight that top light like all the time.
Yeah, it's either a blessing or a curse.
Yeah, so I was kind of like,
it's
let's roll with it. Let's stick some like fake little like dust
I
sparkles
love
into
the dust
that.
sparkles. Honestly.
honestly, and I don't know what else I could say just to make it like even because it is such a lovely photo. I mean, the colors do complement well with the pink, the white, and the blue. That it's very pastel like colors.
Yeah, which is what I feel is very like different to what I normally do. So that's kind of why I wanted to select it to be like, look, this really, really pushed me out of my comfort zone, like so bad.
Tank shoot editing really pushes you to your limits, and it pushed me to my limits. And
like, this was your first tank shoot, and you come out with this. Like, how dare you? Like, the absolute talent is.
I can only learn from the best, though, by watching all your freaking editing. I'm like, how does she do it? What's the bubbles going?
Siobhan, should we go and cancel her?
Oh no!
No, I need it like for later in the year.
Oh wow!
My co-star.
Yeah.
Jesus! Oh my goodness. Shall we move along? Shall I put my next photo in?
Please. Ooh.
Right. So I think I've decided. So, basically, right. So if anyone who knows me knows how much I hate Star Wars, but saying that,
you shoot quite a lot of Star Wars.
Yeah.
Oh, don't get me started. I feel like people know this and they deliberately do this to me. No, basically, every time I've seen a Star Wars photo, I've gone one or two ways. It's gone, oh my god, I love this photo, or I've gone, for fuck's sake, get the lightsaber splash like done right.
Oh god,
people don't. Oh my god, people they just put the light over the lightsaber and that is it, and it really fucks me up when they don't think how light works.
You're like, there's glow.
It glows. It fucking glows. Oh my god! So for me, this picture, right? So this is taken at Birmingham MCM at the NEC and things like that. So this photo, this was actually I stole this look from a different shoot I did about 24 hours beforehand, and I'll show you to shot. So pictures is Mara J. Skywalker, and we're outside. It's near the front entrance with the red girders and all that, but she's squatting over one of these stone brick pillars type of thing. And she's got the lightsaber in hand. She's clutching her part of her collar type of thing. She's looking to the side, and it could look like a very urban type of wasteland type of thing. And honestly, I'm really proud when I do lightsaber work.
I was going to say you do such good lightsabers. I'm quite jealous.
I've got. If you ever want to do them, I've got a YouTube clip that I follow and just follow those steps and those techniques. I then put into other things which have gone. Fucking, it needs a light splash reflectiveness. Oh, god damn it! Yep. But basically, when I showed her this picture shot, this is Charlotte Woolrich in the photo. She goes, "Oh my god, I love this. I want to have this photo." I went, "Okay." So when she mentioned she was doing Mara J, I went, I know where to take it. I know we'll reuse this little setting, and it's for me. So I've made it a 16:9 ratio, so it's a very cinematic type of look. I've always I remember getting an advice from a different photographer because I was doing all photos in 4:3, and he was looking at my photos and says, "Ed, this is really good, but have you ever thought about playing with your ratios?" And I went into, "No, I don't want to play with ratios." Because play with the ratios, like make this into this. And then when I did, I went, "Oh my god, it's changed so much." So I now play with 3 ratios. It's 4:3, which is the usual photos look. Is it 4:3?
Yeah.
No, is it 2:3 or 3? Anyway, what I mean, the photo ratio. 16:9 or 1:1. And if you change those ratios when you're editing photos, it changes the look so much, because in this one, it's very looking at a very long cinematic type of look. You're looking at the whole, the area and things like that. You're seeing where she's looking and things like that. You got a bit of dead space to the right of the photo, things like that. Whereas if I made that 1:1, squared it, and just put it around her, it's a very tight, intimate
Yeah.
photo.
I really like
and I,
how closely you've cropped it up and down, if you know what I mean. Like, it's a really narrow crop, and I like that with, like, there's so much negative space, but at the same time it's like it kind of complements it. It's that whole like golden thirds or whatever they like to call it.
Yeah.
exactly. I try to follow the thirds rule and things like that.
I just held my hand up to my monitor just to cover the dead space, and it makes it such a different image, and it looks so much better with her being off center. Because then you get more sort of setting of like backstory of like, this is where this character is. It's sort of very like that industrial,
and you get the
kind
sense
of.
she's kind of like on a wall looking over,
Yes.
that sort of feeling that she's sneaking.
She's sneaking.
Oh, whilst I remember, so you know that red panel at the background. So I had to obviously erase the writing on it, so it wasn't distracting. So there was writing there. I think it just say, "Welcome to Birmingham, NEC."
Oh, is
but I went,
it?
yes. I went, nope. I went, nope.
Again, I wouldn't have been able
delete.
to guess, to be honest.
But yeah, but it's those small little things I do that it matters to me, but to everyone else, no one will bat an eyelid. They'll go, "Oh, there's a light in the background."
It matters a lot to a lot of artistic people, because like
Oh,
for me, I would have been drawn straight to the wording, knowingly.
Yeah, if you'd have posted it with the words, I'd be like, oh, it's Birmingham. But this is like, it could be anywhere.
Agree. I'm the same sort of person, and Shill's the same as well. I've noticed. Like, we'll be taking photos of somewhere in the woods, and we'll be like, "That tree branch is wrong."
Yeah, delete the tree branch. Delete it. So true. So true.
So I completely agree. Anything that makes me suddenly look to a certain spot, because to me right now it's drawn straight to her, and I'm such a bias for purple, so I'm like, ooh, purple lightsaber.
Yeah, I looked straight to the lightsaber, and then it was up to her hand.
Yeah, but just to say also that the light splash in that scenario, in this situation, there was no sense of where that light hit her, so I had to guess how far would that light shine. Whereas there's some shoots I've done. I think I recently done another Mara Jade actually at a different photo shoot, and because it's all darkened, that light, you can see how much that splashed all over over her. So it's easy to kind of like go, oh, I can just leave it like that. But this, I'm like going, how far do I make that light splash? Do I go round the arm or just halfway up the arm?
And then like, how bright do you go as well? Like, do you make it really obvious or do you not? But I like this. This is like subtle, but you can still tell. And because you'd understand it's daylight, so you wouldn't see how bright a purple it would be. So I really like that. I really like this image.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
I like the sort of reverse leading lines you have, which is like the sort of it sort of leaves a barrier around her.
Oh yes, I think I did make sure the girders and that sign kind of meet in the middle of her, so that your eyes do go that way. I see. Yeah. I'm sure I did that on purpose.
Yeah, totally.
Yes.
There are times that there are flukes, but I'm sure this time I went no, make sure the lines and all that.
And I really like that you've put her on the left side looking off, because I think if you put her on the right side, then it makes that negative, like if you were to switch it around, the negative space would be like far too large, and you're like following her line of sight without anything being there. I think that would have been too much. I really like this way that you've positioned her.
Yeah, I think I do make sure that when I always do look into the distance, I always do it to the nearest side they're on, if that makes sense. So yeah, because I have done photos where they're positioned one side and they look at the other, and I'm like, no, it's wrong, it's wrong.
And then you're like, which side do you like to take your selfies from? And they're like, this side. And you're like, okay, turn around then.
I know you're good, so fucking move.
I'm guessing you, what do you call it? Like tilted the picture? Or did you keep her to be straight up, or were you considering other things?
Oh, right. So obviously when I did it, so there are times when I'm not level, I just rotate the picture enough and hope it doesn't cut off limbs and things. I just, when I saw this, I went, right, I definitely don't want the 16:9. I rotated it straight, so she was straight. And then when I did the 16:9, it just fitted. I went, yes, that fit. But sometimes I try not to get the picture too tight on her when I'm taking the photo, to give me that allowance to rotate the photo a little bit to straighten her out.
Because I think for me, and again, this is just a personal preference type of thing, I feel like everything's tilted a little bit to the left, but she's perfectly straight. That's why I asked this question of, did you want her straight, or were you considering like the background as well?
I think I was going more her straight there because there always that trade off that it's either one or the other. You can't have everything. So I think I wanted her more looking more level than I remember this this advice that a friend gave me.
Mhm.
If you have that like I think they call it Dutch angle when they
See, I call it a Dutch
like
tilt.
that's it Dutch tilt maybe, yeah. But if you have a Dutch tilt, at times it could look like they're falling.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I know, so now because I have that thought, I try to make every photo perpendicular to the ground, so that if they stood up, they'll be right angles to the floor.
Yeah.
Have I perpendicular? That's right. Yeah. So
You're gonna love
for
my
me
other
to have
pictures.
oh fuck,
I'm a
almost
huge fan of the Dutch
no.
tilt.
I almost put a Dutch
No,
tilt
I
in.
have used.
I almost put a Dutch tilt in.
Give in.
No, to be fair, there is times where a Dutch tilt does work. I will admit that, but for me, sometimes I always look at some photos
Actually, yeah.
that they look like falling
Yeah,
over.
no, I get it.
Yeah. Sure. Anything else you want to add before we move on to you?
The only thing I would say is that, like, the pose itself is great. Like you go from the face, you go down her arm to the elbow, into the lightsaber, back up to the knee, up the elbow, back up to her face again. So it makes a really good like flow of the body.
That's true.
Ah, I've never noticed the
Yeah.
circularization
But
of
she's
it.
not like a ball. She's still structured. Like you can see all her, joints are
All the
in use.
angles, yeah.
Which I like.
Gotta love a shape. Gotta love a shape. I mean, to be fair, because Charlotte herself is a photographer,
She
kind of knows
what she's doing.
she knows the pose and looks that she's just offering to me, so it's easier for me to like make her look good.
I also like the fact that the lower knee isn't touching the ground.
Yeah, it might be because the stone brick itself was pretty scummy.
Probably.
So
But no, it's like she's ready to go at any moment. It gives that sort of anticipation of like when she's going to move.
Yeah.
Rather than if your knee's planted, it's like, oh, it's going to take me a minute to go up.
True.
Yeah. No, absolutely. All right, I think we've done enough applause for my photo. So let's move it along. Siobhan, let's get your photo in there.
I'm gonna go. Well, we had a sort of a light theme. Like we've had light coming from now, we've got lightsabers, so I'm gonna go for a similar lighting kind of thing.
Okay.
I'm just worried I'm going to retch after this photo. Retch.
Is that good or bad?
We're talking about Dutch angles. Yeah. But you son of a bitch!
See, I like this.
Fuck it.
The image on screen is a sort of I want to say like a 20s pin-up version of Jack Skellington. Very low lit, very contrasty. Pretty much complete black and white. Just for those audio listening and not going into the website like you should do.
I mean, I'll say this straight away. Though you just mentioned it's a black and white photo, you can tell it's not a black and white photo.
Black and white photo. No, it just looks black and white.
No, but it's there's a hint of like a red hue to it, so you know it's not a proper black and white photo. But oh god, the light and the shadow were it is so good. You keep talking about it before whilst I get over this.
This is actually taken outside, out at night, and we're just using a singular light stick, which is balanced on a chair in front of her.
I love that.
Just as like an up angle. But it's like not to be such an up angle where it's unflattering. It's just to hit those high points. It's the hands, the hips, and the face, but also keeping that sort of skeletal look because it's Jack Skellington.
Yeah, the light makes her face look like Jack Skellington, not in like a bad way. That sounds so bad.
Yeah, just
like,
almost
like her eyes are so like recessed that you kind of envision a skeletal face, which is what I really like this picture. I really like it. It's such a contrast as well.
Yeah, you come with the light bright things. I'm like, right.
Wham! Opposite.
Yeah.
I just love the leading lines, and this is my like favorite thing about like pinstripe suits. It's just that you kind of, for me in this image, I start from the very bottom. I'm like, ooh, hips, right? And then I like, follow the lines, and the lines go up the arms. I'm like, they kind of like disjointed, but it almost feels like someone's like taken a marker pen and has just like drawn a line along like a paper or something like that. And I like that sort of thing. So I think it's really like artistic. So I'm like, okay, I'm following this, and then you get to the head that's almost like floating, but you can tell it's not floating because you can see like the skull neck piece that Jack has, and I just like the contrast, the whole like dark shadows, because it's like the opposite of a Rembrandt triangle, and I think that's what I quite like. It's not like traditional lighting.
Yeah, it's a singular light.
I still can't get over how good this photo is.
Thank you.
It's utter. I think, like I said, I'm not a trained photographer, so I don't know what I say is, makes sense. It's right if it's wrong. I know for photography it's very subjective and all that. All art is very subjective, but like you said, it's that one singular light. In a sense, your brain is half filling in the rest of that picture in its head. I actually tried to do the ratio thing I was doing. It's like, can you make this a square 1x1 photo? And I went, actually, that would not look good. The way you've got it is so good. I personally don't like negative space. So when we were talking about in the previous photo about the negative space, technically I don't like that, but it fitted well with that picture of that cinematic. This, I don't know if I would have been tempted to crush that negative space at the top, because I can tell you're following the rules of thirds as well with the eye line. Yes?
Would I? No.
I remember when cropping this, because I keep the ratio relatively the same from the raw, and I remember cropping it to just the elbows would almost touching the edge of the frame, and then that was just making sure they were still in the frame.
Yeah, but I would be hesitant to say that I could have made this picture better by cropping it closer in. That's the only thing that like makes me go, oh, I would make that little change. But besides that, everything else about that photo,
well, just that top bit above
that top gap,
I think I would have made it more landscape personally, more of a longer on the sides and shorter on the top. So like it might, like, because I'm a person that likes to do a lot of Photoshop, I mean it's a bit obvious when you look at my stuff, I would have possibly thrown it as a wider image, so instead of a portrait doing more of a landscape, and then do almost like a cheeky moon behind her.
Yeah, I thought about
really low, not like a bright moon, just like a really subtle. Possibly.
I kind of wanted this like looming out of the shadows kind of. Could be anywhere.
And I like how the light makes her overall look really slender as well, because obviously it's trapping the light and hiding bits of her body as well. So it's kind of like it's giving that illusion of like a small waist, and then again the whole like eye socket thing. It's just it's so like iconic to Jack, and I really like that.
100%, because like I said, the monotone of it, your brain is filling in so much of the blanks of this photo. I'm trying to like spot so much of the photo, and who's in the photo?
It's Colbert.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I thought it was.
I really like it's not your traditional like female photo either. It's not like beauty and glam, and it's almost like a horror aspect to it.
Yeah, it's very much what we were going for.
Did you smooth out the face makeup, or is it as in the photo?
It's retouched ever so slightly, but not much.
No,
I think I did a little patching around sort of the eyes just to make it seamless a bit more. But other than that, that's her body paint's great. She downstairs and we were like, okay, damn, fine. I love people who can body paint and I don't have to retouch it. They are my favorite.
Oh, you have no idea. Like, I do love it. I get over it, and I think we need to move on before we stare at this way too long, because I think we've got to try to get through more photos.
I'm like, what can I pick as the most offensive one that I have?
Yeah, I was like, what's the most headroom that Eddie's gonna want to crop?
All the things you hate.
I've got it down to 3 photos now, but I don't know which 3 to have. Okay, I'm gonna go with this one. Right, okay. All right, okay.
You just want to pat her, don't you? Just.
That's not the reaction I thought I was going to get. Just to explain, those who can't see it, it's Ember Wolf dressed as a Dalmatian dog. She's in I would say in a dog pose, but climbing on its hind legs a little bit. Her hands are along the dog chain, and the dog chain's following up towards the camera, so it looks like you're holding the dog collar type of thing. And oh my god, I now remember Ember's eyes she did give those wide puppy dog eyes at me all the time. I'm going, damn it, girl, can't do this to me. Yeah, and she honestly, she had that look of just like Amy said, you just want to pat her, you just want to do that. Though, just to say also, this has not been sponsored by them, but I've got to mention the dress itself is made by Queen Troll Arts or Art, and we did a whole photo shoot day based on their designs.
It looked such a good shoot.
It was such a fun shoot. It was so fun. But honestly, I love this because I think this is so, not saying out of my comfort zone. This is just so out of my style of sorts. Like I would never do something that's very, I would say, submissive, dominatrix type of pose look. If that makes sense, because it's a very looking down, very dominant, submissive type of photo. But it works with this photo, and it's just. I think I'm hoping a lot of people know the 101 Dalmatian storyline, and you can imagine
the bit where
that
you fuck Pongo. No, sorry.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say you can imagine that you're guessing who's holding the chain. You don't see a hand or anything like that, but you can probably imagine it's Cruella de Vil holding that chain, looking at the dog, and the dog's going, "Oh shit, I'm in trouble." So
please don't skin me. That's what that face is. I'm so sorry. I'm just ruining.
Jesus Christ, that went dark quick.
I was feeling bad because I do not know this cosplayer, so I apologize.
I would like to actually work with this cosplayer.
Yeah, same.
It's been a while because I'm a huge fan of like latex stuff, but I never get to shoot it, and I feel so sad. So every time I see their latex stuff, I'm like, oh my god, I want to shoot that.
But yeah, I mean, it's a simple photo. I didn't do much. I do my usual highlight the latex, make it a bit more shiny and brighter type of thing, skin smoothing, things like that. But I just like this because I feel like it's not my usual repertoire of photos that I kind of take the style of it, so that's why I included it in this batch.
I really like the depth of field as well. Same. Like it's shallow but not too shallow, if you know what I mean. Like sometimes you see people God, this sounds so bad. What I was meaning is that sometimes you see a lot of people do these like portrait photos and it's so shallow that all you have is just like the eyes in focus and nothing else, and you're like, you've lost everything. Whereas this is kind of like the head and the top of the shoulders, and then the rest falls away in that sort of sense. And I really like that sort of like, it's not too shallow, so you can actually appreciate everything that's going on here. Like you can see the spots of the dress and not like a blurred mess. And I love the chain. I love things that like have leading lines out of camera. So things like that, I'm like, I love this. If I was to, I don't know, like I'm glad that there's no hint of like another person in the image. So like you could have easily like, I don't know, leave your feet in. So you've got like your feet there or something like that, or your hand. And I'm like, no, this is like nice because it's just her. It's only about her, but you can also tell like a story from it. So that's what I really like.
If there was feet or a hand in it, it'd just make it more crude.
Yes.
And not in a, like a good way. Like this is,
okay.
It would be too on the nose, like for, a shoot like that. Like, I have to ask, is it the natural light from the windows? Because I know the studio.
It seems like it.
I think it is, actually. I can't remember this additional. I think it is, yeah, because I think if there was an additional light, I would have put it to the right of the photo.
It's just the lighting is so soft on her skin. It's beautiful.
This was taken around September time, and that time of the day and that time of the year, the light just comes through so well. I just want to show this picture, like I said, because it's, for me, it's way out of my style range.
Oh yeah, and it kind of invokes emotion as well. Like as I said, the first thing I wanted to do was just pat her head, and I think that's great because then you're not looking at an image just being like, oh, it's just another picture. You're looking at an image and going, oh, I want to interact with that.
Yeah.
And that was my first thought was, I want to pat her head.
Yeah, because sometimes I forget what's my style or not, because when she gave me that look, I went, right, I know what I'm going to do. So we did do it, I think, me standing over her and doing it, and it didn't look right. No, we did it over a chair. That's it. She sat on a chair and did it, and it didn't look quite right. I have that photo, but I did another photo with this when she's on the ground, and I think I stood on the chair just to get that height difference. And it just made that photo even better. And just like I can't look at her eyes because I do want to pet her. And
I think my only qualm, and this applies to a lot of my like crap as well, is the only thing that I'm kind of unsure about is the fact that you can't really see her neck.
No, I get that.
So it's kind of almost like head, shoulders, but there's no
now you
neck.
said it.
So I'm a person that loves when like people look over their shoulders and stuff like that, but I feel that you borderline that like floating head syndrome. Do you know what I mean? It's just like no neck. So I think that's my only qualm, but I don't know how to rectify that without having her more like sat upright.
I think if she didn't have the collar, it'd look worse.
Yeah, no, the collar is much needed for sure.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
But apart from that, I absolutely love this image.
My only comment is the fact that the heel touches the end of the frame. I wish it wasn't.
Yeah.
That was the first thing I noticed.
I don't know. I was kind of like with the elbow. Is this the max of the photo?
Yeah. Exactly. That's as far as it reached. So I really pushed its limbs and things like that.
Right.
So
now in juxtaposition to the elbow on the other side, I'm not as mad about them.
Yeah. No, that's cool. I don't want to talk about it anymore because it's now giving me anxiety. So I
completely agree.
I'm going to move it along. So Siobhan, you're next.
I'm going to continue the Disney theme.
Oh, Disney.
Have a Disney. This is Esmeralda in the cathedral.
I see what you mean with the negative space. But it suits it because it tells a story.
Oh, absolutely.
Sorry, I'll let you describe your...
No, that's pretty much it. So it's Esmeralda sort of bottom third, looking up into the distance, hands together, very much like she's walking through Notre Dame, with the cathedral in the background, with lots of arches and beautiful stonework.
Was this done with a light?
Oh, natural.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, there's a big ass window.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, it's a big stained window. Oh, it's not stained, but like, so there's a big window on the left, and I've just brightened her up in post as well, using the channel separator in Lightroom.
I like that.
I as much as I mentioned, I don't like negative space. This looks good. I do like it. It's the only thing that puts me off straight away, because you were talking about the heel. What? Sorry, again, I don't want to sound like I have to now find something on Amy's I have to hate now. But
you'll find plenty of things. Don't worry, I'll pick one for you. All the Dutch tilts and negative spaces. We'll get it.
No, I was going to say I would have either made that like follow the lines of thirds or center her into the picture. It doesn't look centered to me. I don't know why. Is that centered to you?
I feel she is off to the left, but is compensating with the leg out.
Yeah. I see now. Yeah. Don't ignore me then. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. I see now. Yeah.
If both feet were together, I would have said no. She's
God, yeah.
left.
If her feet were together, I would have shifted her over.
Yeah. But
it looked weird with the leg out to be further to the right.
But I'll tell you what I love also about this photo. Though she's not actually in the frame of that arch, your eyes tend to look at that and say, "Oh, she's framed so well in this picture."
Yeah, it's like if it continued, it would.
The one that's like directly above her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. I love that. I'm surprised how much natural light you got into that photo.
I know. I was really surprised.
People just like, "Oh my god, you must have used lights." I'm like, "Nope," and they're like, "What?" Yeah,
especially because cathedrals are really dark. That's why I was like, is it?
Yeah, it was a time.
Oh god.
So.
And then for me, so I was looking at this image and I was thinking to myself, the only thing that bothers me is the fact that I would have made her stand up on her leg that's straight, like on the balls of her foot. Yeah, to just make it a little bit more elongated. But I love the lighting in this because I'm a huge fan of like the bright light with the like darkest of darks behind and just the shadow across the floor. I feel really, really sells it.
But also, I'll tell you something that also just drew my eyes.
It's the silhouette in the background that's really lit.
It's really lit. Why is
it?
Really
lit?
I've
just noticed that as well. And I'm like, why is it so bright?
But it wasn't the first thing I looked at. I looked at her first. So
that's all right.
Yeah. Sorry, Eddie.
No, it's fine. No problem. I was just gonna say, I'm really liking the colours on her compared to the rest of the background. She stands out from everything else, so that you can really like know where she starts and then the rest of the cathedral begins. type of thing. I like the colors. Yeah, I'm the guy that really loves colors in his photo. So for me to see this is absolutely it's beautiful. I love it. And again, like you said, it's a story where she's holding her hands, looking to the side. Well, I say up into the sky, like she's looking for. What's his name? Quasimodo. Yeah, it's like you could be mistaken that's where she's looking and things like that. So I love that. I love that trick that you do tell models to go, oh, just look into the distance, things like that.
Yep,
It's like
always.
Always. I'm looking around the edges of the photo, and I love how it's got a real nice balance of shadows in it. Like you still got details of the cathedral in there. Like if you choose to not look at for some reason, because that'd be a sacrilege to not look at the cosplayer. But if you're looking at the rest of the cathedral, you can like in the background. I love that you've chosen not to use bokeh in this. You try to keep everything in focus. That's a real nice details. Like for me, I would have done the mistake of making everything else bokeh. I've tried to do things in focus of and I didn't. My brain doesn't like it. So for you to do this is like, oh,
I like a buttery background.
Yeah.
But I always find this with your photo shill. Like I always know it's yours because you always crush your darks. And I don't know if that's a term that everyone uses, but like it's almost like you put a color in your darks. So I'm always like, oh, she's crushed her darks. I know it. It must be a shill photo. Then I go look for the thing, and I'm like, it's kind of like a little trademark at this point.
Nice. I like that. I'll take that.
But again, you always do like a lot of good storytelling. I really like how you always include a lot of the background, whereas I'm very guilty for not like including a lot of the background. But I like that because then it's like a little bit of a story.
Yeah, I mean, when we got permission to shoot here, I was like, we have to utilize this location.
Yes,
I think we've gushed over this photo a lot. Amy, I think it's now your turn.
Okay, I'm gonna try and pick the worst one. No, okay, so okay, we'll go with the opposite of the one I did then.
Okay.
So I don't think anyone's seen these ones. When it loads.
Ooh.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh.
So
that's a Dutch tilt.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it touches edge to edge. That's a Dutch tilt. I just extended my arms that you can see it, but you can't.
I was like, what will offend everyone? But
no, I love
that. Prepare for comments in a minute, but you go ahead, Amy.
Okay, so this is a picture of Lang
La Cheng.
La Cheng, that's the one. And basically they're in like a lunging pose with a sword, and their jacket is like been flung out behind them. It's very, very crushed photo. So we were talking about how I really like to shoot shallow, same with Eddie. So this image in particular is really shallow. I think it was shot at 1.4, 1.2, one of those, like as shallow as you can get. Done with one single light, which is just a normal white light. And this was actually done at KitterCon.
Oh damn!
Yeah, so this is at KitterCon past last year, and Jess reached out to me. It's the first time we've spoken to each other before, but it's the first time they had reached out to me. And I said, I'd really love to shoot these characters because it's kind of like heritage for me, Chinese background, Chinese characters. So I was like, let's do this. So it was a really, really fun shoot. I really wanted to get a lot of flow because it's just like a lot of gown. So I was like, can someone lift this part and drop it, and can someone else lift that other part and drop it? Just wanted movement because there's just so much fabric, and I'm like, you can't waste the fabric, So that's what we're looking at. And I can criticize this to hell and gone myself.
I was going to say, right, I think you already know what I'm about to say. So
I chose it on purpose. Because I think it's really funny. People are so like allergic to a photo that's like at an angle, and I get it.
No, I love this because it looks like a still from a panning sort of like a high to low angled sweep from left to right, like you're about to come in front of them with a low sweep.
Oh,
and it kind of to follow that line of the clothing.
Yeah.
So it looks like you're mid motion of this action scene. It's great.
Yeah. No, I
Fight
do love
Yeti.
this. I do like this photo. And
Burn.
it just looks like the cosplayer. It's either one sliding up the photo,
Yeah. Yeah.
just literally skidding and sliding up. But also,
But that's good. That's the point.
Yeah, it's the action part. Yeah.
but I know because I can see from the trees that that's not level, so that's why. Unless trees start growing at an angle now, then. But one thing that I don't take this the wrong way when I say this.
Mm.
The one thing I noticed, the leaves. I love that there's red tints in it, hints of it throughout, and there's no green. Did you bleach out all the green out of the ground?
Out
Do you
of the
get what I'm
ground?
saying?
No. I desaturated the greens in the background, but not any of the fallen leaves. They were all like autumnal leaves. Yeah.
All right, because I always forget that I want to try a photo where I try to desaturate a color element out of a photo, but I'm not brave enough to do that because I love my colors. But the leaves for me is what I see the most, and I forgive. Who's the cosplayer?
Jess
And a cookie.
and Cookie, yeah.
I am so sorry that I'm not looking at you. I'm looking at the leaf.
No, that's absolutely warranted because it's so shallow as well. So you just kind of just got this like merge of just like a mess of colors, and then as it gets more in focus, you're like, oh, they're leaves. Okay. And the one thing that annoys me the most is the tree stump, but I did not want to Photoshop that out.
I was gonna ask, like,
that is so much effort.
Yeah.
I was like, nah, it's fine. We'll leave it.
Yeah.
It'll only bother me and probably Shill.
Yeah.
You could have just moved the cosplay in front of it.
Yeah, I know. I'm lazy.
It's more storytelling.
Yeah.
Of where they are.
No,
it's fine.
Anyway, going back to my first point, I think if you did level it, I would. I love
this. You not think it would look a bit odd straight?
No.
Really?
I'm tilting my head and it looks weird straight.
Yeah, I think it looks weird straight.
I think it looks
I think because you tilt your head, it looks weird. But I think if you shot it, shot it straight, if you know what I'm saying, horizontally, because I do love the cape flip up. Because I'm assuming is that either that's someone flicking it up or someone's holding it up.
Someone's like dropping it.
Yeah.
And they were actually in that photo, so I had to like take them out as well.
Yeah. I could see how. Unless that's what I'm saying, it's one or the other.
Yeah.
And because you can see, because when you see two pointy ends of a cape,
someone's holding that.
Someone's holding that.
Yeah.
But also, it's that type of gown. It's literally like a rectangle as well. So no matter how you throw it, it's still kind of.
Yeah.
But no, I do love a cape flip. I gotta admit, I do love a cape flip.
I'm like, if there's anything you can throw it.
Yeah.
I'm like, here's a piece of fabric, throw it. It's like, it doesn't go with this character. I don't care.
If it's not gonna break, we'll throw it.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm looking at now the background of the desaturated. Again, the tone of it. I think the color palette for all of it just looks so well. Honestly, I'm gonna have to learn from you about your color picks because these are so beautiful.
That's one thing I love about your work is the color. Color grading.
And I think it's so funny because the one thing I really want to do is less of this type of work. And it's not because I hate it, but it's just because that's all I do. So I feel like I don't challenge myself at all. And it's not like this isn't hard. I mean, it's hard. I spent ages going, oh, I hate that shade of green. Oh God, it doesn't match the like red theme. So I spent ages being like, no, that has to be desaturated. But it's funny that people love certain things that others do, and then it can be tiresome to the person who created it. So like the lightsabers for you, like it's annoying, but you do it and you do it well. Yeah. So it's like what you're known for, isn't it?
Someone said to me that, you're always doing like Disney photo shoots. Like you're such a Disney princess photographer. And I was like, I am not a Disney person. Like, bear in mind, Amy's going to call me out. Like I've been playing Disney Dreamlight a lot, but I'm not like, I need to go to Disneyland tomorrow or I'm going to die. Like I literally don't care.
You're not sitting there with like Mickey ears on.
No. Like, and I'm just like, I can princess. I can take photos of princesses. Like, it's just...
Oh dear me. Anyway, look, I don't want to end the podcast, but I know how much time we spent, so I'm going to do one more round and we'll call it a day.
Okay. Speed round.
Who hasn't gone first? So Siobhan hasn't gone first, so you can.
Oh, are we doing one more?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do
no.
one more.
This is
We'll
difficult.
do a quick fire, quick rough. I've got mine ready, and I think I know which one I'm about to use. And oh no, I don't. Shit. But you go.
Okay,
You're next.
do you want Pirates or Lord of the Rings?
Pirates.
Okay.
Pirates? Let's do pirates.
I think I know which one it will be. I'm excited.
I can if I can find it. There it is. Is this the one you were hoping for?
Oh. No, it's not the one I thought it would be.
Which one
But
do you
I
think it would
fucking
be?
love the reflection.
Okay, hang on.
I was expecting gay girl pirates.
I did. That's technically not cosplay because it's historically accurate. So I didn't count it.
Yeah, I've got a few like that, to be honest.
So I was like, But yeah, I did contemplate gay pirates.
Can I just say one thing?
What?
Can I just say one thing
What?
before anyone else say anything? You motherfucker.
So for those not looking at the pictures, this is a alternate universe Ford Stone from Critical Role, as if he was a bard, but still a pirate instead of a warlock, on a beach with a sunset, mirrored with lots of water.
Lots of water. You wouldn't tell it was a beach per se. Like I don't look at that and go, "Oh, there's rolling waves behind them," but you can look at them and be like, "You're in a magical place."
Yeah, this was on a very the tide was out.
Yeah,
and this is just like the water that's just sitting over the smooth sand. And I was like, run!
go quickly!
yeah, because they came in and stand there and look great.
Oh my god, I love reflections. Anything that you can reflect in is just like I'll get people go stand beside windows so they've got like reflections in themselves, water, puddles, anything. So this is like all my like little happy boxes are being ticked here.
I've always struggled with reflections. So
and it's kind of like how low do you go? So I'm guessing this isn't like down to the floor, is it? It's kind of knee height, I'm guessing.
Yeah, pretty much.
So you get like it's like a full length of the character in the ground as well as obviously the character standing. And it really makes me think of like you're standing on an alternate dimension. Like this is you, but there's also like another you in a different place doing a different thing. And I really like that.
Which kind of works because it's like a twist on the character as well. So.
Yeah. I don't know much about Critical Role. Don't come after me.
So this is from Campaign 2, and an artist did a series. I can't remember the name. I'm really sorry. She did a series of the main characters if they were different Dungeons and Dragon classes.
Yeah.
So instead of having like Jester as a cleric, they put her as a paladin, and she was in full armor instead of like a cute outfit. And so it was a part of a collaboration where loads of cosplayers got together, and then they tried to make the whole cast. So this is what Amy Kingswood did as Ford.
It's honestly, it is gorgeous. I mean, I want to pick it apart because I've done it with the other two, but I can't because this is just.
Do you want to know a secret?
Perfect. Go on.
The sunset's not real.
Oh, I was going to say you should have punched the colors a bit more for the sunset.
It's not real.
I tell you something that some people might look at that photo and go, "That reflection's fake." All she's done is flipped it.
Yeah.
No, that's what I'm saying. Some people think it's flipped, and then you've done some like Khazarian blur to it just to make it look. But I can tell that's real.
That's a real reflection. It's
real
just
reflection.
The water behind it.
Yeah, I was gonna say that fooled me. I genuinely thought that was a real sunset.
Yeah, a lot of people said that. I was talking to my sister-in-law about it, and I was like, "Yeah, that sunset's real." She went, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah, photography's a lie."
Yeah, it is 100%.
Oh wow, that is a gorgeous photo. Again, like everything else is crisp and sharp, and like I keep saying about the colors. I love the colors again. Even though it's a fake background, I love the color palette for that and all that. I can't say anything more.
Just to wind you up a bit because you said about cropping and stuff. I also did crop this as a landscape as well.
You see, I think I would like this as a landscape.
So same picture, just cropped a little different.
No,
I would have kept the reflection.
Reflection.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I couldn't crop it landscape. I didn't want to make a square. I don't make square photos.
I hate square photos.
Yeah, so I was like, I'm not making square, but yeah, I did crop it as a
Eddie's like, what do you mean?
Yeah. No.
No, my brain went, time to find a square photo to send you to the chat.
I've got a square photo.
I see people posting on Instagram still in square formats. I'm like, you don't have to, right?
Yeah, it hurts. It hurts. But I also don't conform to the like Instagram crops either. So whenever I send stuff to people, I'm like, I'm sorry, you'll have to either extend it or crop it.
Yeah.
That's not how it's meant to be.
Jesus Christ.
I'm picky with that sort of
Oh yeah,
rubbish.
same.
Oh wow.
Good.
Oh wow. Anyway, this is quick fire round,
Yeah,
so
go on.
we'll honestly that's great. So I'm gonna move it along, and Amy, you send in your one. That hopefully gives me time to pick the one of the quick.
The one
Oh
and
god.
only.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. We'll do. Oh my
I've done
god.
very similar color palettes for these photos.
I've been
which is
trying
nice.
to like be as different as possible in each one.
Oh,
I don't want to do another studio one, so I'm stuck between two. Let's go for a super dark one.
oh.
And this is my square
You've
one.
gone from light to dark. I love this. Oh, I love this photo so much.
And it's cropped in a square.
It is. I'm not mad about it though. God damn it.
I know. I would be normally mad about it, but when I did it, I was like, no.
I think if she was closer to the camera, I'd be mad.
Yes,
But
yeah, 100%.
the subject still breathes in the space.
So just to explain, it's basically Lara Croft. One of the newer Lara Crofts. I'm old school, I only know the old ones. So this is like young Lara Croft from like Rise of the Tomb Raider or something like that, one of the newer ones. And I specifically asked that she brings a torch with her. So she had made this torch specifically for the shoot because I really wanted her to hold something for like my old school sake of Lara Croft. And it's basically we have lit the scene to have the red glow, and it's shot through a bush.
Yeah,
I can see that. I can see that.
Shot through a bush, and to be honest, this photo was taken during the day, about 1 o'clock. So a lot of it is kind of like underexposed shooting when I took this photo, with the idea of wanting like flame firelight sort of thing. And she's just crouched with a torch up, and she's like leaning against the wall, peering off screen essentially. And again, there's loads of things I can hate about this. I'm very good at hating my own stuff. If it was me, I wouldn't have that wooden beam on the wall. My brain goes straight to that. I'm sure.
I literally didn't notice it. It reminds me of like the climbing.
Yes,
like
yes.
planks you get. If it was coloured yellow, you'd be like, "Oh, you climb here."
Yeah, true.
I have to admit, I did notice the plank as well, but I think what distracts me a little bit is not seeing it through the bush. And I think because I've shot at 1.4 and know what bokeh can do like that, I can see that. I think if you just lessen the bokeh and see the bush itself, I think that would have been even sweet, because that would have helped framed her a lot. Not saying a lot better. You framed it well anyway, but it just would have just added that a little bit more
depth sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. But honestly, I loved it. Just remember, who's the cosplayer?
This is La Petite Spider, or Clara.
That's yep.
And they made an adventurous travel all the way up to Scotland to come to this. This is a torpedo base that's like local to me.
Okay.
And what a trooper! She actually got into the water as well. So I have like photos of her in the water with like a flare and stuff. And it was a good time. So like a lot of people actually think the fire's real in this.
Oh damn!
Yeah, but it's 100% not. So many people are like, "How did you do this?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's 100% photoshopped. I didn't want to light anything on fire because I'm very like I love practical effects, but there's certain things that I'm like, unless we have a trained someone, I don't really want to chance it type of thing."
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, and I think a lot of like there's some photographers that I see that will do stuff like that, and I'm like, but you're not trained, and it's so dangerous what you're doing. And like I'd rather put it in after and just be like, yes, it's fake. I know it's fake, but I'd rather have that. So I think this was a 2 light setup. I had one main light facing her face, and then I had a secondary light with like a red gel on it to like project across the side of her head and onto the wall.
I was going to ask if that's a separate light source, because me moaning about the afterglow from light sources, I can see that's from a very real light source from a distance type of thing. So I do like that.
I love the way it
I
catches
love
her
that.
eyes as well.
Yes,
It gives that sort
you
of
get the red in the eyes.
yeah.
I think I also love the pose because it's so natural. Like, she would be holding it, she would be looking to the distance. Like, you're sitting there thinking, "Oh, it's the danger
What's
over
she
there.
seen?
What has she seen?" I love that type of look to photo sometimes, and just love it,
And again, it's a completely like, I think a lot of people know me for my like bright and colors, and I feel like this is such a contrast because it's like dark, dingy.
I'm gonna move it
Yes,
along because there's a quick fire now. Right. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna put in my photo into the thing. So let me just pick the photo. Let me find it. There we go, and send. So there we go.
See, I really like these like long landscape photos. I'm all for these.
So story behind this, two story. One, so this is at VeeCon. I was shooting with Bitten and Smitten cosplay. She's dressed as, I would have said, a witchy.
Raven.
I know she's a witch, but Richie,
She's Raven.
Richie, a witchy Raven. That's, get my teeth out, Eddie. And basically, they've added these lights to the bridge for the first time.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
because that's the first one I went to, so I just assumed they were always there.
No, it's the first time. And I looked at these lights and I went, if no one else is taking advantage of these lights, I'm going to take advantage of it. Fuck me. This was a fucking labor of love and hate at the same time. I never understood lighting and frequencies and things like that.
They strobe so bad, right? I
that
had that issue as well.
I've got so with this photo, this pose, I've got 30 others where the light does not cover the person. I just shut a gun the shot just to get one that's fully lit, or at least fully lit enough. There's no external lights or anything like that. It's all lit from the lights of the bridge. I mentioned earlier, I love leading lines. I love I try to get as centered as possible into the picture, get those lines to go in, pointing towards and things like that. I'm using my 70-200mm lens so that I whack it over to 200 just to bring the background just ever so close in. Yeah,
looking at just, like my favorite thing to look at in photos when they're shot this shallow is the ground, because it goes from like really blurry to like a thin strip of in focus and then super blurry afterwards. And just like I just love that. It's so like separated.
Yeah. I just love, and that's really it. And not this specific photo, but a similar photo to this. I actually sent it in a photo of similar pose and bridge photo to the VeeCon competition on the weekend, and I won.
Oh my god! So dedicated. I could not be bothered with that.
No.
No, I was going to use that photo as the one to talk about, but this is the better one because it's better, because I rushed that edit. I was going, things like that. So this one for me is the better of the edits, but honestly, I just, I'll say it again, leading lines, those lights, just screamed something to go with that. When Bitten and Smitten Ingrid said, "Oh, I've got this Raven outfit," I went, "Let's do it. Let's go. Let's do it." So yeah.
Oh no, I like it. I think for me, I might put some sort of like purple tint over it, or I guess she's grey, but I would have gone for maybe like a little bit of a hue of purple. But I like the pose because that really suits the character. She does that a lot.
Her hands aren't level.
Yeah.
Oh, it really bothers me. It's really bothering me.
Now it's bothering me.
I wish one hand had come forward with the other one just been brought back, so just they were level, which makes her elbows not level, and then her shoulders are wonky.
Oh,
now I can see it.
Also, the lights on the right are brighter than the ones on the left, and there's a floating light in the background.
Cancel her now. Cancel.
Is this payback for all the things I said about you?
You see, and this, I don't know if this is a good or bad thing, right? Because I know I'm terrible at this. I can't embrace the grain. Do you know what I mean?
Oh no, Yeah. No. I've only started seeing the grain now in
But
photos.
it's not
Before,
bad. Like, I like that, but I know
No,
for me
no.
personally, I can't. I for some
Yeah.
reason just cannot accept it from my photos.
Oh no, I was going to say in the past I've not bothered with it, but now
Oh,
because, like you were saying earlier about you can actually use Photoshop and Lightroom to select the
yes,
person
yeah,
now and separate that. I've now started to
Mm.
do that now. So if I see backgrounds a bit
yeah.
grainy, I try to smooth that
Yeah.
out.
Point out one more thing.
Uh-oh.
There's a
Yeah,
light
go on
bulb out
then.
on the left.
Oh
Oh.
my god!
Sorry.
I just thought that
I
was
didn't
like,
notice it.
like a sunspot. That's
Yeah.
why. A
It's
light bulb
fine.
spot.
It's a lens flare.
I feel
I'm
hurt now.
sorry.
Feel
I
very
feel so
attacked.
mean.
It's okay. I can give you
No.
more Jots chilts. Do you want one? I can give you another one very quickly.
We're probably taking way too much of your time. I don't know how I'm going to edit this podcast or how I'm going to edit this YouTube clip if I am going to. Anyway, thank you very much, ladies, for talking about your favorite photos. I might have to do this again, but with cosplay. So if you're interested in talking about your favorite cosplay photos, let me know. We'll get you on. Amy, if people need to find you on the social medias and book you for a shoot or just talk to you about photos, where can they find
feel
you?
free to come roast me, mostly on Instagram. It's okay, I can take it, sort of, and then I'll cry later. But you can find me as Acoustica Photog on Instagram or Acoustica Photography on most other platforms. I do stream editing, so you can come roast me about how badly I'm editing your photos. So you can find me as Acoustica with 2 A's on the end there.
Fantastic. And Shill, where can they find you on the social
Oh god,
medias?
everywhere. I'm pretty much Shill Photography on Instagram, and I'm Shill Photos pretty much everywhere else.
Fantastic. Oh, yeah, it's your
I do
link
have
tree, isn't it? Yeah,
Linktree /Shill Photos. So.
Yeah. Excellent. Cool. If you go to foodandcosplay.org/links, that's where you'll find my social media links. If you want to go to foodandcosplay.org generally, you'll find all my daily photos that I put up there, as well as articles that I'm both writing and I'm sneakily getting someone else to write for me, but I'll explain that another day. Yes, I know. And well, we'll see about that. And then what was I going to say? And then I'm just like reposting old posts that I feel like it's worth like looking up again. If you go to foodandcosplay.org/podcast, you'll find previously recorded podcasts that I've recorded with these two separately, as well as everyone else with different subjects. If you go to, where do you want to go? Go to patreon.com/food and cosplay. That's where you'll see, that's where you can help donate money to this podcast. You'll be able to, help me make these production of these podcasts. Literally every pound counts. But if you can't, don't worry, I'll be fine-ish and things like that. And on that note, I'm going to say thank you very much to Amy. Thank you very much to Siobhan. It's been a pleasure talking about photos. I think I'm both triggered now, but also tilting towards it.
It's a well-deserved pat on the back.
Yeah.
It's been really fun.
Good job, guys.
Really is. No, it's nice cathartic. Like I said, with the suit, there's always everyone's got a criticism of, everyone's got a comment about, oh, that looks shit, and I could do that. And fine, okay, then let's talk about it. Let's see, and let's all big each other. Let's literally share the love and support each other. As much as I have roasted both of these people with my thoughts, I do love their photos.
We criticize with love.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Exactly. Criticize with love. I love that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I'm not going to
that
copy.
note, I'm going to.
I'll never shoot on the street.
And on those notes, I'm going to end the podcast. I'm going to say goodbye. Amy's going to say goodbye, and Siobhan's going to say goodbye. So bye guys. Fucking